Hello dear students, I am Morshed, Assistant English Teacher, Hossain High School, Srinagar students. I welcome all of you to our live classes. I hope all of you are safe and sound at your home. Today's class is one of the most beautiful poems, Stopping by Woods on a Summer Evening by Robert Frost. So, we will discuss today about the poem line by line, and I tried my level best to make the poem easy to read. So just keep watching the video till the end, and I hope this video will be very helpful to you. So at first we will discuss about the poet Robert Frost. Robert Frost was an American poet. He was born on 26 March 1874 in San Francisco, California, and died on 29 January 1963. He wrote many famous natural poems like Mending Wall, Road Not Taken, and Stopping by Woods on a Summer Evening. He got Pulitzer Prize 4 times for his beautiful poems. So today our topic is Stopping by Woods on a Summer Evening. So at first, you just look at the title of the poem, Stopping by Woods on a Summer Evening. We can easily understand from the title of the poem that this is a natural poem, because there are some words, these words signify and clarify that the poem is a natural poem. First, woods, snowing, and evening. These three are the elements of nature. First of all, wood means forest area. Snowy means it related to weather and it is snowing. And the third is evening. Evening is a time and it means day after. So these three words, from these three words we can understand the poem is connected to nature. So at first we will discuss about the first stanza of the poem. So at first the poet tells us that whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village though. He will not see me here to watch his woods fill up with snow. So first sentence of the first stanza, we see the poet asks himself that whose woods these are. The poet asked himself, whose woods these are? I think I know. So first stanza and the first line we can understand that the poet perhaps know the owner of the forest. And in the second line he gives the answer. His house in the village. So where the owner of the forest lives? He lives near the village. And the third and fourth line, the poet says that he will not see me here to watch his woods fill up with snow. So here the owner of the forest, suppose the poet has come to a place in your journey to a forest land, and it is evening, and he was stopped of the forest, and he thought the owner of the forest, he knows the owner of the forest, and where he lives in the village. And the third line, he says, he will not see me here. The poet thinks that the owner of the forest will not see the poet. The poet is standing off his forest, but the poet says that the owner of the forest will not see him, and to watch his woods fill up with snow. And the owner of the forest also cannot see the beautiful scenery of the forest, because the forest is the woods, the trees, leaves of the forest are covered with snow. So the owner of the forest will miss two things. First one, the owner of the forest will not see the poet standing in the forest, and second thing, the owner of the forest will not see that his woods is covered with snow. And in the evening, and the woods covered with snow, that means all the trees and all the leaves are covered with snow, and it takes a beautiful scenery. But the owner of the forest will miss to enjoy the scenery. So from the first stanza, we can understand that the poet on his journey stopped to a forest, and it is evening, and he thinks he knows the owner of the forest, and the owner of the forest will not see him there, and the owner of the forest will miss the beautiful scenery of the forest. So then this is a wonderful imagination of the poet, and this language, the lines are very simple, we can easily understand. So we will go to next stanza. So at the beginning of the second stanza, we will first read out the lines of the poem. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmer's near. Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. So here is a sonnet sound like queer, near, here. Now we will discuss the lines of the stanza. First line, the little horse must think it queer. Now we can understand that poet is not alone in the forest. He is accompanied by his little horse, and the horse is the little horse. It seems to the little horse that it looks strange to the little horse that the owner, the master of his master, he stands such a place where there is evening, and it is darkest evening of the year, and in such place there is no farmhouse, because so it seems strange to the little horse that why his owner has stopped to such a place, because this is not the place of taking rest, to stop without a farmhouse near. Usually when people go out for a journey, and in the past people used animal cart to go distant places, and they take rest beside a farmhouse, so that the animal and the owner can take rest. But here the poet stuck to a such place, and where there is no farmhouse. And the third sentence, between the woods and the frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. And in the forest there is dark between the woods and the frozen lake. And one thing is, the woods is very dark, and another thing is frozen lake. There is a lake beside the woods, and the lake is frozen. It means that they cannot even drink water from the lake, because the lake is frozen. So the little horse becomes strange, because the forest is dark, and it is in the evening, time is evening. And another thing that makes the horse strange, because there is a lake, but the lake is frozen and they cannot drink water. And third thing is that the darkest evening of the year, and the woods is so much dark that there is no moonlit night, and all are dark, and they are not, and they cannot look out road, they cannot go where to, they can choose a road, because there is no light, there is totally dark. So three things here we should be remembered, that the horse is stressed, he is totally perplexed, because first thing is that it is evening, and it is a dark forest, and the third thing is the frozen lake, there is a frozen lake and they cannot even drink water. So from the stanza we can understand that the poet is not alone, he is accompanied by his little horse, and the little horse is strange to the behavior of his master, because his master stopped to a woods where there is no farmhouse near the forest, because they cannot take rest, they cannot take any refreshment in the forest, because there is a frozen lake and they cannot drink water, and it is the darkest evening of the year. It means the day is maybe 22 December, because in the calendar 22 December is the darkest night. So all three things makes the little horse queer means strange, So from the stanza we can understand that the little horse, what the little horse is thinking, and what should it will be in between the woods and the frozen lake. So the poet and the little horse, they are standing in between the woods and the frozen lake. First of all, between means woods and frozen lake. One side there is a deep forest and another side there is frozen lake, and totally these places are unsuitable for taking rest. Moving to the third stanza of the poem Islamic Bible Translation Meaning by Robert Frost. So here we read out the lines. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The one other sounds the sweep of easy wind and dawny flake. So here he means the horse. The horse gives his harness bell a shake. Shake means moving his head's shake means moving. And harness bell means a strap that is attached to the body of the horse to the cart. Okay. And bell means that makes sound. When the horse moves his head, it makes a sound. And here the horse gives his harness bell a shake. Here the horse shakes his head, harness bell, so that he can communicate with the poet, his master. Because to ask if there is some mistake, to ask, the horse want to ask his master if there is any mistake. So we can easily understand that the horse makes a movement of his body, and it makes a sound, that is harness bell, and he want to say his master that why he stopped to such a place, and he want to know if there is any mistake, there is wrong done by the poet. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and dawny flake. So the sound of harness bell and the sounds of sweep of easy wind and dawny flake. So from the line we can understand that the place is so calm, so quiet, and there is only sound can be heard, that is the harness bell of the horse, and there is another sound that can be heard, that is the sweep of easy wind and dawny flake. Here dawny flake means the fluffy balls of snow, that fly with wind. When wind blows carrying many downy flake, it makes a harsh sound. Harsh means a rough type of sound it makes. And besides the harness bell, besides the sounds of harness bell, there is another sound, that is the sound of the sweep of easy wind and dawning flake. So this is a very simple stanza, and from the stanza the horse wants to inform the poet to shaking his harness bell that the poet has done something wrong by stopping to a such a strange place, because this is not a place suitable for taking rest. And the place there is some sounds, and one sound here indicates the sounds of the harness bell that makes the horse, and another sound that is made by the wind carrying ice, that means snow, carrying snow. When a wind carries snow, it makes a harsh or whispering like sound, and it is rough type of sound. So dear students, this is all about for today. Thanks for watching. We will see you soon with the second class of the poem part 2. Till then, Allah Hafiz.